Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another Magical Moon video. This morning we came out to do the horses and we've been met by 3 new free rangers in the form of the beautiful donkeys. We don't know how, but they've escaped their corral and they are now out in the freedom of which is everywhere around rather than in their field. So I think the first job is, after they've just had a little bit of freedom, just checking out their new environment, we'll gather them up and put them where they're supposed to be, and then we'll get on with the horses and we're swapping them round. Now the weather's changing again, we've got the beautiful sunshine and it gets quite hot, well, pretty quickly by about midday, so we're just swapping them around. So some horses are in at night and some are out in the day, and the ones that are out in the day have got that lovely shelter and the shade from these trees, so it's all pretty lovely here at this time of the year.
To see rolling hills or city streets, ocean to ocean and all in between. It's out there just waiting on you and me. Take it in, we got no plans. Good things come to those who can. Live moment to moment and all in between. It's out there just waiting on you and me. So look alive, 'cause why
I'm here with the lovely Captain Jack Sparrow and we're going to ride him for the second time, and it's all about those little steps, just creating positive reinforcement. And some of you may remember when he first came, he was very standoffish, he was all over the place, bless him, and totally understandably from the life that he'd come from. But now, being castrated and being with the Moons for as long as he's been here, he's really started to settle and he's just so lovely. So we're going to get on now. Going to do a bit of riding, but I just need to mention the microphone might not be quite as you normally know it. That's because we had an incident with the escapees and it got broken. There's a new one on the way, so in the next couple of days all sound should be resumed. So let's get on and do a bit of riding. So I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet, but in essence we're trying to get him used to having the bit in his mouth, and this is a traditional snaffle, and as you can see it has one joint and it's a bit supposed to be very soft, but I believe, and I know for sure, that there's a little lozenge in the middle of the bit that we've put in Jack, and he can just play about with that. And what we've got here is a nose band, which is traditionally used to hold their jaw shut, but I don't want to restrict him. I don't want him to feel like he doesn't have a choice, so he can play about with that little lozenge, which we'll show you when we untack him. What that means is he's just going to get used to it. So it's a bit like Oscar when he did have a dummy. He's just got that there, and he can play about with it and get used to the feeling, and he can also get used to being guided left and right. And they're the very first steps. Obviously you've got the stopping and starting, the guiding from left to right, just getting used to the different feeling of what's going on, but try and keep it as calm and as kind as possible. And as you can see, he's not that stressed. So let's get on, and we'll get the jockey on and we'll go for a little wander about. Lay over and put your leg in like we did every time before, yeah? So lay like that, put that foot in there, bend your leg up, get it in there, that's it, there you go. Now, good. That's it, and then give him a pat. Perfect. Okay, so it's every little step, yeah? Just little by little. We're just going to walk round and you're going to gently guide him, yeah? So, right, so just, right, that's fine. That's okay. Right, just sit like that. Right, so what you want to do is you want the difference. Hold the reins there, you got them?
Yeah.
Okay, you feel, pull against me. Right, so feel, just pull gently. Right, pull. Just keep pulling, yeah? Just gently, that's it. Right. So rather than, keep pulling gently, rather than this feeling, yeah, you want it to be soft, yeah?
Yeah.
So all the time, so you're just talking to him through the reins. So he feels that gentle bit, but it's not like that.
Okay.
It's nice and gentle. So you're just talking to him gently. This is your line of communication. This is like in the old days when they had telephones and they had wires.
Yeah.
It goes up our gyro. That's your line of communication to talk to Jack through the reins. So you can use your voice and say good boy and steady, but these what tell him what's going on. And if he feels you get tight, he'll worry. Yeah. So you just got to keep saying, it's okay, I'm here, and gently guide him, yeah? Good.
When your life's been put on hold for far too long, when the sorrow and despair is growing strong, there is always something good to be obtained from breaking loose and leave the things that kept you chained. So when you find So when you find the strength to really shed your skin, all you really need to do is search within. All you really need to do is search within.
Okay, so we've done stopping and starting. We've done a little bit of left and a little bit of right.
Yeah.
So little by little, every little step, inch by inch, it's a cinch. We're getting there, and we just carry on like that. And you doing that stopping and starting. And the main thing is keeping that nice and soft. So that's how you communicate with him. You've got your body, you've got your legs, and he's starting to listen, which is
Yeah,
fantastic.
because every time I communicate, when I say please, when I communicate through the reins, he like goes or he stops or he
That's
turns.
right.
He does stuff.
He's listening to you.
Yeah,
That's it. He's been a good boy.
yeah.
Well done.
When your life's been put on hold for far too long, when the sorrow and despair is growing strong, there is always something good to be obtained from breaking loose and leave the things that kept you chained. So when you find the strength to really shed your skin, all you really need to do is search within.
I was just explaining to Rupert, and you might have heard in the audio, about the connection or the conversation that you use through the reins, your line of communication with the horse. And of course, as you may or may not know, you don't have to have a bit. I've ridden horses without bits. I often ride canto on a head collar without a saddle, and it's all good. However, I think Captain Jack, when he was in Tyre as a stallion, he had a bit to control him, because he would have been a little bit feisty, as you saw when he first came. And so we're following on that tradition, but we're also trying to make it, as I say, or said before, as comfortable as possible. I just want to show Rupert the effect that a bit has, and this is what they call a snaffle. It's an egg butt snaffle, so it's got these egg shapes on the end, and it's got one joint in the middle. But what that means is, if you just put your arm like that, if we had this in him, when Rupert if he was to use this and he pulled, what does that feel like?
Really painful.
It's really painful. It's like a nutcracker, but more importantly, it pushes on the roof of their mouth. And in all the horses I've started off over the years, my favourite, or one of my favourite bits, was this lozenge bit, which I mentioned earlier. It's got like a little rugby ball in the middle. And what that means is, demonstrated by Rupert's arm,
Oh my goodness.
when you pull on the bit, you can see there is no nutcracker action. It just, look, it's soft, isn't it? It doesn't hurt, because it's got that other bit of articulation.
Yeah, and he plays with it, so he fiddles with it with his tongue.
So exactly that. Well done, Roo. Not only is it soft, it's got that little lozenge which he can play with. And I used to have a bit which had bars on the side as well, so that's just to help them guide them from left to right. But this is definitely the way forward. And as I said, it'd be lovely to be able to be au naturel, but really to put Rupert on Jack and just let him go without anything in his mouth or on his back would be a little bit unkind at this stage. But who knows, in the future we can always train them back off, and that's one of the biggest keys. But the most important thing is that line of communication is nice and soft.
Yeah, and this one, you only know how it, because when you bend, it's got these two little adjustments, and the adjustment at the bottom here, if you bend it, it pinches your skin.
That's it. It's
And that's-
pinchy. It's not
yeah.
very nice. Whereas this is lovely and soft and round.
Yeah, because if you do it, it doesn't hurt, because it's got a bit, like another bit, he's doing
And
this.
it's also, look, it's really soft.
Yeah, and this bit's not soft.
And what that means is, if you're soft, they're soft, and everyone's happy. So, very, very impressed. Well done, Ruin. Well done, Captain Jack Sparrow. What a beautiful little pony, and come so far from where he was, and just to be able to do what we've done is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's holiday times, and what that means is we can follow up, and every little bit will be that bit closer to us going off round the countryside.
Yeah.
Good job.